Yo, as a guy who has completed 800 days of NoFap, and as a guy who has Skyped with hundreds of people doing NoFap and trying to become free of porn, I think I have some valuable insights to share regarding this topic. And I have a different perspective than like 90% of other YouTubers or people talking about this. If you YouTube search, should you count days, literally every single video will tell you to not count the days. And there's tons of people who are like, the secret of NoFap is you shouldn't count the days. As like, that's the big epiphany that makes NoFap successful for most people. Well, I have a very different perspective. I'm gonna share with you my three main points, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what I do and if I count my days. So first off, most people who say you shouldn't count the days of your NoFap streak or porn-free streak, I think they're saying it because their point is you shouldn't be obsessing about what day you're on. Oh, I'm on day 6, I'm on day 8, I'm on day 10. And you shouldn't be thinking too much about that, but instead you should be thinking about your goals, your life, your dreams, your habits, your relationships. And you know, and I 100% agree with that. I think that's a great point. So if you're obsessing about your NoFap streak or your porn-free streak, that's not good at all. However, these people who say that counting your streak is like the secret, oh, I found the secret, don't count the days, that's just silly. And I think counting days can be a very helpful tool. Lots of people who are alcoholics in AA, it's a common practice. So to all the YouTubers and people posting on NoFap Reddit that you shouldn't count the days, I disagree with them. To spend 2 seconds of your day to write day 11 and day 12, I don't think is that big of a deal. And there's a great quote by Zan Perion which goes, "The size of your life is the size of the questions you're asking." And if you're wondering if you should count days or not, that's thinking so small. You know, it's spending 3 seconds of your day to write what day 11, day 12, it's no big deal. You know, that's not the secret of NoFap. And you know, we gotta be thinking big here, people. Where do we want to be in 5 years? What can we become the dream guy to our dream girl? Can we impact this world in a meaningful way? Can we become the person we want to become? Like, you know, these are the questions we have to be asking ourselves. However, the biggest problem with counting your streak is that it gives kind of the propensity towards binging. If you know you're on 20 days or 30 days and then suddenly you have a slip and a relapse, so many people that I've Skyped with and in myself, they have the psychological effect where, oh, I messed up once, I might as well look at porn and fap again, or fap 3 times, or the next day, oh, I'm back on day 0 and might as well binge. And that's where counting days, in my opinion, can go wrong. And seriously, if you do slip, do your very ultimate best to not binge, because binging is exponentially bad for the healing process. It exponentially fries the brain. So really take not binging as seriously as you can. Your count is just a tool. It really isn't that important. It could just be a nice motivating tool. But what really matters at the end of the day is the changes that happen in our brain, the changes that happen in our mind and our lifestyles. If someone's on a 50-day streak and then they relapse, it's not like all their progress just goes out the window and all their healing in the brain just goes out the window. You know, it's more like they go back to maybe like day 30 or something. And like something that I would maybe like to create in the future is like some counting software that's called like the NoFap score. And if you relapse, it just puts your score back like 10%, you know, because that's more accurate with what's actually going on with healing in the brain when you're on the NoFap streak. If you're on day 90 and you have a slip, you don't go back to day 0, you know, and like a NoFap score where every time you slip, your score goes down like 10%, or if you binge, it goes down even like 30%. You know, something like that would be much more accurate. So you know, that's the problem with counting your streaks, is it could lead to binging, or you know, people base their self-esteem, oh, I'm back on day 0, when they've done so much work, and it's like they don't give themselves credit for any of that work. So that's something to be mindful of if you are counting streaks. It's just a tool. Don't take it too seriously, and what really matters is the changes that happen in your brain. So what I currently do as a veteran NoFapper and a guy doing this porn-free journey is every day I have an Excel spreadsheet where I have fap-free and porn-free, and I'll check it off if I was successful at not fapping or not looking at porn. Check off, check off. And so I don't actively count the streak. It's not like day 21, day 22, day 23. I just check it off. But if I want to know what day my streak is on, I could go back on my chart and be like, oh, the last time I slipped was January 5th, and today is February 15th. Let's calculate how long that was. Oh, I'm on day 45. So it's not like I'm actively know where my count is, but if I want to figure out how long I've gone on NoFap or being porn free, I have that data and I could go back. And that's the system that I recommend, is, you know, so it's not as obsessive, but it feels good to check off a day, you know? And it's really cool because one of my friends has access to my Excel spreadsheet. So we check, and he has an Excel spreadsheet too of his habits that he's working on. So every day we could just check in on each other, support each other, and keep each other accountable. That's my system. That's what I recommend. But I think especially in the beginning stages of NoFap, I think it's helpful to count the days. That's what I did, day 12, day 13. But once you're more of like an intermediate and advanced level, once you're past like day 30, then switching into like just checking it off and not being so obsessive about what day you're on could be helpful. And at the end of the day, everyone's different. I've Skyped with hundreds of people on this journey. I've known people who count and they're successful. I know people who don't count and they're successful. I know people who count and they're not successful. I know people who don't count and they're not successful. Everyone's different, and you need to experiment and figure out what works for you. Checking off the day, each day, porn free, fap free. And I don't know the streak off the top of my head, but if I want to go back, I can find it. You know, I think it's the perfect balance, and that's what I recommend. But different things work for different people, so experiment and figure out what works best for you. If you're new to my channel, check out my other videos and consider subscribing. I do NoFap and porn-free Skype consulting, as well as coaching on other topics. GoldJacketLuke.com if you're interested. Please follow me on social media. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that bell icon, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.